So I know the sea pigs are a sea cucumber. They're in echinoderm, but every time I see them on a really deep dive, all I can think of is actually a fossil organism um, that is from the Burgess Shale called hallucinogenia that has these long leg-like appendages that they think it walked around on.
Going for a ride of a lifetime here. Telling their children's children about this.
Yeah,
It was the strangest thing.
but it's not this one. It's not this one that
No,
they
Oh,
would
which
be
one is it?
under. It's the sea pig.
Oh, the ones with
The
the
one that,
appendages.
The ones that
yes,
are
the
in the
one,
slurp jar right now? One of the slurp
yeah,
jars?
yes. And
I
it,
saw.
there's one sort of up
Oh,
on the
white,
left-hand
that white
corner.
one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that
that
white
one over
one.
there on the
Oh,
left?
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But I think you can sort of tell from the pictures that I saw that there is a crab underneath it because you can see the crab's
Picture
legs are
count.
red.
yep.
Hmm. We'll be on the lookout for that then.
Yeah. And these are juvenile crabs. They don't stay there forever. At
Hmm.
some point, the sea pig has served its purpose, and I assume they live without them.
Hmm.
So, Meredith, you were saying they remind you of something?
They remind me of of a fossil animal from the Burgess Shale. So it's a Cambrian organism called hallucinogenia. Uh, that is this like tube-like animal with long feet and long appendages. That I think they finally figured out is related to tardigradas. But I always see like look at sea pigs and go, wow, they look just like that.
Yeah. So tardigradas are the like the something bear, the teddy bear,
Water
or
bear.
The water
yeah,
bear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank God for common names sometimes, because otherwise it would be very difficult to remember.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would think that you would see this sort of relationship or parasitic behavior in places where there would be more crabs, and we're not really seeing a
Hmm.
lot of crabs here.
Yeah, just a handful of those white ones.
Yes.
Oh, there's a pom-pom anemone
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
going off the bottom of the screen.
Oh, wow. Pretty.
Mhm.
And so we saw pom-pom anemones up on the more rocky portion in the shallower depths, but these were more purple and um, pink.
Yes, there are kind of three varieties we've seen so far, and they all have that same morphology. I think these white ones are actually more adapted for living out in soft sediment like this. And then, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
dark purple ones with the much thinner tentacle or thicker tentacles, and the pink ones that are like that as well.
I think we've seen some, and you can correct me, Meredith. I don't think it's this species, but they are kind of free floating. Not free floating. They kind of tumble around, so they're not really fixed.
Yeah, I think that is the thing.
Hmm. But it's not the pom poms.
I think that whole group that has that kind of round shape gets referred to as pom-pom anemones, although I
Okay.
think there are actually multiple genera in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's easy to say for people who aren't verbose in Latin names to just for
Yeah.
people like us. Pom-pom.
Yeah,
It's
tend to
easy
go
for
tend to go in with one ear, out the other.
Saying
Yeah.
For me.
pom-pom's not Latin.
Yeah. If we lived during Roman times, yeah, maybe then, but
We'll take a good nickname any day. So are we seeing, are these bryozoa, the kind of scattered intermittently?
The darker tubes?
The darker kind of circles. I'll see if I can point one out next time.
To the left.
A
front of
Brisingid
my
star
screen.
there.
Kind of like this clump here coming up lower center screen to the right. And then that's what I was presuming was bryozoa, but maybe it's something else.
I think those are a bryozoan, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Yep. Kind of.
We've got these other kind of round clumps, like the one that just went past the left laser, that look like they're an urchin of some kind.
uh-huh. So when you see the bryozoan again, because I was thinking that that's what you were talking about, please point it out to me. I wasn't quite.
What's that dark thing floating? Or is it, no, it's on the ground. I was just seeing a false shadow next to it. That looks like another holothurian of some kind. It's darker than the ones we've been seeing.
Zoom if you want, Steve.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
It's pooping.
Oh,
It is a holothurian.
yes.
That is the one
Perfect shot.
function of the holothurian.
Eat and poop.
Yeah. And poop.
This is the money
Oh.
shot.
Did a backflip for us. Look at that.
Backflip.
Hey, do a trick. This is your one shot.
It's like, I don't just poop, I do backflips.
Yeah. Okay, point taken.
Yeah.
We get it. All right.
Well, this is how I guess they evade predators.
Mm-hmm. Or move to the next
Wow.
eating spot.
Yes.
Great.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we know
There's a
exactly what those big
Pycnogonid to the right,
spiral.
but I think you're behind.
Yeah, a
Or
little bit
you
behind.
will be.
Yeah.
See what
Yeah.
the other one.
Now we know
We have to,
exactly what those big spiral casts come from.
yes. Well, from that species or the many other species of sea cucumber that we're seeing here.
Saw 2 Pycnogonids on the way, so good hopes that as we bring forward here, we'll be able to find another one. take a look as Argus keeps trucking along.
Mm-hmm.
Bridge now. One more step, 200 meters, 050.
So I was reading in the chat, and we don't have to do it right now, but that Gary William was interested in the collection of a Protoptilum, which is, I guess, another sea whip, correct?
Yeah, it's a sea pen. It'll be a short, kind of chubby white stalk. When I was on earlier, we were getting some funiculina, but I hadn't seen a Protoptilum yet. So it is one that if we see one, I'll probably holler and say, "Market,
Okay.
drop a target." We're gonna wait half an hour and pick up the sea pen.
Okay. So everybody forewarned, that might happen.
If you see one early while we're stretched out in front here, we can probably get it on the flat.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we
Those
can
and
try
happily
it.
they are. Yeah. They are white, so it'll be easy to spot from a distance if we see one.
Okay.
If there's plenty of them and we miss it somehow, we can try again. Might be quicker than waiting a half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And happily, you guys already collected the. They already collected the other mud critter that we would be looking for at these depths, which is the Radicipes.
What's that?
It is a chrysogorgid octocoral, and that's a family that usually lives on hard bottom, but Radicipes is the one species that you'll find in soft bottom habitats. And that's one that grows in the single spiral column with these little bell-like polyps that go all along the spiral.
Oh yeah, I think we just went past one, not too, on our watch already. I saw it. But it was when we were talking, and I thought, well, we'll see another probably.
We get a zoom on that urchin on the left, just to the left of the laser.
I was not on there.
You wanted to zoom?
Yeah, it's just about to go off the bottom of the screen right now, so maybe too late.
Which is
I
it?
have a minute.
The
What was it?
It's just went off the bottom left corner. It looked like it's a round brown blob, and I thought it might be an urchin.
back up.
I'll back up more.
And it'll be
And-
to the left.
I'm on top of it.
You might be right over it.
There,
There
there.
it is. Yep.
Yep, there it is. Probably a heart urchin of some kind. Sometimes they'll be completely buried.
Yep, sure.
Thank you for that zoom.
Or shrimp. Or prawn, I mean.
Mm-hmm. I think some of these possible bryozoan colonies are actually possibly growing on the shells of those heart urchins we just zoomed in on.
Is that a common occurrence for the bryozoans at this depth?
You know, I don't know. I would guess that it might just be a convenient source of something hard to grab onto.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one of the giant hydroids there on the right to the lasers.
It's like a bright star.
Unless it's an umbellula, which is also possible, but it's almost
Zoom, Steve.
it's so translucent it's hard to tell.
Does look like an umbellula.
Oh, that is umbellula.
Yeah.
So that's a sea pen.
Okay.
So these are specialized sea pens that just have this crown of polyps that come off the central stalk. We've got 2 or 3 species here on the west coast. One that we see more shallow, and this one.
Wide for me, Steve. Thanks.
So there are some octocorals out here in the mud, since the sea pens are all octocorals.
So the umbellula is therefore an octocoral?
Yep.
Okay. And that means that they have
Good.
polyps with 8 tentacles.
Yep. If you could get a clear view on those giant polyps, each one would have that ring of 8 tentacles. Nice brittle
So
star there.
Yeah, and my question was, are most animals that are living at this depth on this type of habitat, are they mostly just eating the sea snow that has, I mean, not sea snow, what's the word I'm looking for?
Marine snow.
Marine snow, thank you, that has fallen to the seafloor? Oh, look at this here.
Gonna be coming
yeah.
upslope a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, almost all the animals found out here are either going to be what we would call deposit feeders. And so those are going to be your sea cucumbers and sea urchins that are going to be just feeding on the mud. And then all of the different anemones and things are going to be filter feeding the marine snow. So anything that's not a predator down here is dependent on the marine snow, or scavenging the occasional bonanza, like a whale fall or a dead fish that floats down and happens to make it to the bottom.
That contour, yeah, that feature.
Seem to have suddenly found some steeper habitat.
Oh, residence.
Yeah, when we started, we were kind of on that plateau there, and now we're hitting the what will likely be a steady slope of this degree for a while until we hit 5e, where it gets a little bit steeper than this.
I do like that you can see just these little corners of rock just sticking out from under the mud, indicating that there is harder bottom here, just under all of this fine sediment.
Yeah, and this was to be expected in a way with Santa Lucia Bank being made up of sedimentary rock. And I guess through just the weathering of that rock, which weathers more down to this fine-grained sand compared to volcanic rock, it will get deposited somewhere down the slope, and this is the place.
Seeing quite a few grenadier around. Keep floating by. There's a couple of them right now.
Oh yeah, more than a couple. I mean, more than, yeah. Couple is 2.
Looks like we're getting 2 different species of grenadier, but I'm going to see if my guidebook has more than one in it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Quick zoom,
Davidson Seamount taxonomic guide. There's several. There's the giant grenadier, the Pacific grenadier, and the rough abyssal grenadier. And at what depth are we right now? I guess I should have the
3, 4, 4, 5.
3, 4, 4, 5? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that would be the depth.
Yeah, I think some of these may be the rough abyssal, and some of them are definitely the giant.
Oh, and then there's
Giant
also
Pacific.
the filamented and the ghostly. We're maybe a little bit too deep for the ghostly. The ghostly looks like, as its name implies, it's like Casper. It's a very white, white head, a black tail. Or the filamented. And I think this is what Erica Burton, she was on the Monterey Watches to Davidson. This is what she studied for her thesis. She says they're very difficult to ID just in the field like this.
If you ever want to know our depth, especially if you're not on watch, you can go to nautiluslive.org to the homepage, and we actually have, which is new this year, we have the depths on the homepage next to